gosh, I'm so excited. So we have a very, very fun live stream for you guys today. I'm really excited. So today, I don't know if the title of this shows up yet or how that really works, but we have a altar clean out today. So I'm going to be going through my entire altar setup more or less. I'm not really going to be touching the statue area as much. I'll try to kind of organize this, but we're not really going to go over this as much. What we're really going to be tackling today, because it is much needed, is my actual altar and the storage for my altar. So this is my actual altar here, which if you've seen my altar video, you would have seen this already. This is kind of what we went through. So it is in a bookshelf, which I don't know if you can really gather from the previous video I did about it, but yes, it is built into a bookshelf. This is a really good way, a really accessible way to kind of start your altar, because not everyone has a big table, big elaborate table that they can dedicate to their space. So mine is built into a bookshelf. So we're gonna go through this and see what we can clean out. I have this as well that I need to go through. This is basically everything that is for my altar that is storage. So this is my storage for my altar. Oops. And then I have books and storage of bigger items. Oh, let's see. It's sitting on top of something right now, so I'm trying not to get that in the shot. But yes, so then I have all my storage for my bigger items down here and all my overflow mess. So we're going to try to tame that beast today. A lot of stuff. So yes, I'm very excited to get into it. And this is really good because along the way, I can kind of go over all the things we talked about in the previous video, which is really helpful. So I can kind of talk about more in depth kind of how you would actually set up an altar, and how you would kind of go about doing that once you've kind of gathered the things that you want to have in your space. Which is more of what I talked about in the first one, what you would actually have on your altar. So now that you have all your goodies and you're ready to put them on here, how do you arrange them? Which is actually one of my favorite things. I love, like, styling altars and putting altars together and stuff like that. It's kind of artsy to me, and I kind of love that. So we have all of this stuff here. So let's get started. I do also want to mention to you guys really quick that I do have another small altar as more of a, excuse me, you can see in the background, that was not planned. Anyway, I do have a small little altar over here as well. And this is more of a, like an actual altar that I work in, as opposed to my more ritual area, if that makes sense. So this is, where I have my tools and my tools for my practice, and kind of where my holiday celebration sort of stuff goes. And the one over there is a more single deity dedicational space. So that one is dedicated to the goddess Hecate. So that is her separate space, her dedicated space away from my more practical space, if that makes sense. Most of the time you would just have one, but I am quickly running out of room for everything I need to keep in this area. So I have kind of moved her dedicated things to a separate dedicated space. And I will touch on that again later, kind of go over what I have sitting over there for her as far as tools, items, correspondences, etc. So we can go over that a bit later as well. But I do want to touch on definitely my main altar and why I have things where they are, and to try to get this a bit unmessy. You might notice, first things first, is that there's a lot of jewelry over here. And the reason for that is basically that I do have a lot of jewelry. I do wear a lot of jewelry, which you can tell by looking at me. I do wear a lot of jewelry. Most of it is religious based. They're like talismans. They have certain correspondences that I'm trying to carry with me, if that makes sense. So pretty much every single piece I am wearing has some sort of correspondence or meaning. So I have a lot of talismans, and it's very important to me to have those talismans in a spot where they can be charged and in a spot that makes sense. So my normal kind of non-religious jewelry is kept in my bathroom, kind of separate. And then all of my jewelry with like religious or spiritual correspondences is going to go here, if that makes sense. Because then it can get, if there's crystals on it, if there are religious symbols, such as, you know, pentacles, fae, whatever have you, those can kind of get charged here. So it's important to me to kind of keep them where they can get charged and taken care of. So that is where they live. So I do have quite a bit of jewelry on here. And if we just kind of go through these, there is maybe one or two pieces I can take off of here because they're not really relevant. So I have a couple pieces here. Let's see. I do like storing them this way, but sometimes they do get a bit tangled if I'm not super careful in how I take things off, which usually I am not. I'm usually not very careful. So this is going to be fun. See if we can get these kind of untangled in more of a manageable sort of way. If not, I will put these aside. For now, we can deal with that later. But let's see here. So I do have all of my talismans, and for the most part, most of my things, if I can, they get kept in a box down on the shelf underneath my altar there. So this one. But sometimes I take things off and I put them here, and then I do not put them back, which is why I have so many pieces here, because I have not cleaned this altar in a while. Yeah. So I have this random pumpkin that does not need to go there. That aside for now. Let's see. So I have a couple crystal necklaces from my friend over at White Mountain Crystals. She made these beautiful custom pieces for me, and I love them. They're wonderful. So I have my amber and my garnet. Really, really cool stones. Definitely a favorite of mine. You can see how golden this amber is, and I love that. And then this really beautiful garnet. It's just super pretty. I love the facets on it. So what I'm gonna put this aside for now so that I can deal with the rest of this. So I basically have a whole bunch here. And what I'm basically going to do is take off anything that has a cord and not a chain. So something that won't get tangled. Because anything that's going to get tangled is going to go separately, I think. I think that's what I plan on doing. But anything with a cord that won't get as tangled, I can put to the side for now. I'm also just trying to untangle these the best I can. I'm thinking I'm going to leave my chain ones out, and I will reorganize them another time. But I do want to get my corded ones kind of out of here so we can get those put away in the box. Usually this is much easier. Oh goodness. There we go. Then we have these, which I will have to untangle and wrap up a bit better at a later date. So I think I'm just going to try to find a little baggie that I can put these things in. So for now, I actually have a bunch of these different baggies that I have. I did a bunch of ordering for a bunch of different crystals and things more recently. So I have a bunch of these little pouches, and I think what I'm going to do is try to consolidate these into one. So let's see. And I can go ahead and use this bag for the necklaces and kind of get everything all organized and ready to get packed away. There's one. So I think my goal while I'm doing this is I'm basically going to take down everything I have out currently, and we're going to completely rearrange it so that I have everything that I need for Yule. Because Yule is coming on the 21st. So I have a lot to do still. I am hoping to get my Yule goat this year, because I've never had a Yule goat before, and basically what a Yule goat is it is a little statue or a little symbol somehow of a little goat, and it is basically from like the old Germanic folklore of Yule and Christmas. It's like the kind of folklore that Krampus comes from. So there's a lot of like kind of goat folklore around that time of year, which I'm hoping to go into in the next video, the 11th. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do a live stream or if I'm going to do an actual uploaded video, like a pre-recorded video. I think it kind of depends on what you guys think and what you want to see. So definitely let me know in the comments if you want to do a live stream or just a regular kind of pre-recorded thing you can watch. Yeah, so I have my necklaces all separated out and ready to go. I have these empty ones that I can go ahead and use. That should be fun. I'll go ahead and use those for some organizing. I have some ribbons up here. I have another little pouch. I think that is mostly jewelry there. So I will try and keep that the way it is. Like I said, I think most of this up here is pretty much organized as it's going to get. As far as everything. So let me just way back there. I have a couple actually Yule herb blends. So these will be fun. I can kind of basically sprinkle these in. Yes, my dolls are kind of creepy, actually. I think I just have the 3 over here. Most of these are actually statues for, I have a lot of fairy statues. I have a Gaia, I have a dragon, but I do have mostly fairies, I think. I think I have a Hecate statue kind of tucked way back there. Yes, I do have some, definitely some creepy dolls. I actually used to collect them. That actually used to be what this channel was, kind of way, way back when. Probably about 3 or 4 years ago now. It's definitely been a while, but yes. So if you have kind of watched my videos from the beginning, you'll know, yes, I absolutely have some creepy dolls. But yeah, so I no longer buy or collect creepy dolls. I do have some left over from that, but yes, I no longer collect creepy dolls. But yes, so I have my Yule blends here ready to go. Sprinkled some of those around. I think it's mostly, let me see if it says what's in here. Lemon, cinnamon, lemon, orange, cedar, cloves, juniper berries, cardamom, and ginger. So that's this one. This one doesn't say what the Yule Blend is. It looks like it's mostly copal resin, some sort of fir, like maybe a juniper, some juniper berries. I'm not sure. Probably some cinnamon. Yeah, it smells like cinnamon. I have actually not been live streaming very long. I actually started maybe only a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure actually. I know my first, maybe about a month ago now. Wow. But yeah, so this is, I think, either my third or my fourth live stream. I haven't had very many, but I find a lot of times having a live stream is maybe a little bit easier, for me at least, because I don't have to put together a script ahead of time. It's also nice because if while I'm doing something, someone has a question, they can just go ahead and ask it in real time. And it's a little bit better, I think, of a correspondence process than writing a comment and waiting for me to get back to it. I can actually, like while we're doing this, if I hold up something and you have no idea what that is and have never heard of it before, you can just ask me, hey, what was that at, you know, whatever time, and I can go ahead and we can talk about it, which is fun. So let's see. So now we can essentially just start clearing off some things here. So let's go ahead. I have some more little jewels that I can add to my little bag here. I believe this is the same blend as flowers. I'm just going to add that. Yes, exactly. Very direct. Let's see. If you're wondering what this is just like a flower mix. I got in, if you, ooh, that smells good. If you follow me on my social media at all, it was mine and my partner's anniversary a couple weeks ago. Probably almost a month ago now. Wow. But yeah, so for my portion, they actually got me some things. So that's what all those baggies are. They opted to get it gift wrapped, which was very lovely. And so the woman who owned the shop actually included the herbs and flowers and things. And I can tell there's lavender in here because it smells wonderful. But yes, it's just like a nice herbal, camera, there we go, herbal, like flowery blend. And it smells really good. I have a bunch of these little baggies. I do save these baggies because they are wonderful for gifts. Show the crystals! Here she comes! That's so funny. Maybe Allison was going to want to see some crystals. I do actually have them right in front of me now. You guys like my pumpkin bucket in December? It is wonderful. I love Halloween. I never ever take my decorations down because I love them. Because who doesn't love all the time? I know I do. Let's see. So yeah, also what all these ribbons are from. again, I keep them for gifts because they make wonderful little gifts, little gift wrappings, and it's just nice to have things in case they'll ever be handy because I'm like that. Let's see. So I actually, one of the first things I got was, this was like a little smudge mix. And so it's got Yerba Santa. There's actually some Moonstone chips in here, which is really cool. It's like the white variation of Moonstone instead of the rainbow variation. And there's also some really pretty like peachy Moonstones. Here, I don't know if you can see those guys. You can see them, but you can't really see like they look really cool. But then there's all the Yerba Santa, and there is some Nog Champa cones. It's a tongue twister. And a little amethyst druzy there. So this was the little smudge kit. I got a little cabinet card. It was a little like oddities and sort of like natural curiosities bundle, which is what they got for me. It's really fun because I do love like just general like curiosities and old things. Let's see, and then I have my wonderful little Enhydro, which it's my first Enhydro and I've never had one before, which is very exciting. If you don't know what an Enhydro is it's basically a crystal that has a little pocket of water inside, because it just kind of naturally formed that way. And you can usually tell because you can faintly make out the little bubble of water, and sometimes there'll be a little air bubble in there. So there's no way I can really show you the air bubble, but the little pocket of water is like right about there. But it's also just really cool. It's got a lot of like carbon inclusions and stuff. Some like clay. But it just looks really cool and I love it. It's definitely one of my favorite things that I got. Let's see. I also have some little mahogany, obsidian guys. This was all actually, we set a little budget for ourselves, so we couldn't really go over a certain amount, and this stuff was honestly surprisingly cheap. It was a really good deal actually, so maybe I will, when I'm done streaming, maybe I'll pop the store in the description so you guys can check it out because it was really cool. And it was actually really reasonably priced. This one is Fulgurite, which is lightning fused sand, and this specific one is from the Sahara Desert. So that's very fun. And it's just really cool. It's just this random little like fused sand guy. He's very cute. Let's see. Hope you guys can see that, but it just looks like sand that was all fused together because it just heated up just right to fuse together in the sand. It's very cool. Yeah, so that is Fulgurite, which I never knew that there was a name for that. I thought it was just sand that was fused with lightning, but it's called Fulgurite. Now I know. And then I have some Tibetan quartz, which there's actually quite a bit of these little guys in here. And again, with like the really pretty carbon inclusions. Whoops! Dropping it. But they're really cool. This one looks really cool. This one's got, I don't remember what the lines are called, but it's got, there we go, like those little line step looking things. If anyone knows what those are called, please do let me know, because I have no idea. But it's just like those little, you can kind of see them there, but it's just like the face of it isn't perfectly flat. There's these little like step looking things going down. They're very, very cool. So I have those. I have a Petite Oko Geode, which this one is for. Perfect little like swirls, yeah, which just looks really cool. A little bit of Palo Santo. I think this also came in the sage, or like the smudge bundle. And it smells really good. I love Palo Santo. I think it's probably one of my favorite smudges. They also got me like this little plate for my altar. I think this is gonna go on my Hecate altar because it's very pretty. It's like a beautiful like vintage milk glass plate. This is the little scroll that tells you what's in the smudge bundle. I have Rainforest Jasper, which I've honestly never heard of before, but it just looks really cool. I have Raccoon Foot Bones, which is just a little jar of raccoon bones, obviously. I don't in the listing how the person obtains those things, so I don't really know exactly where they came from, which is kind of interesting. I do like kind of like bones and like taxidermy as like oddities, but I do typically like to know kind of what their sources are, just for like ethical reasons. So like I said, they did the shopping, so I didn't see the description, so I don't really know if it said. So that is definitely something I'm sure I could find out. And then, let's see. This says it is mouse and rat bones, which is just a tiny little jar of rat bones. I think there's like some ribs, a vertebra, some like arm bones and something. And then there is a tortoiseshell butterfly wing. Which is really cool. Some more things here. I know this is like a lot of things, but it was actually just really nice. And like I said, we did set a budget, which was not very high. So definitely like that person's stuff was pretty reasonably priced, I would say. Let's see, just kind of tucking some of this away. So it's out of the way here. Keep on with the cleaning. I have a couple more things. I have a naturally shed deer antler chip. Oopsies. This one I might actually put out for my Yule altar because of the symbolism of deer with Yule. I have a cultured freshwater pearl. I have magnesite nuggets from Zimbabwe. I do like that she puts the place of origin on these. It's really cool. I have goldstone chips. Really cool. I have some little garnet chips. It's really cool. And then I have some Tektite, which I am very much into Tektite. Tektite and Moldavite are two of my very favorite stones. So, very fun. Some little Tektite guys in there, and then my deer antler tip that I think I'm going to put on my altar. So, let's see. Let's get on with more clearing of the altar. I have some herbs here. I have my little selenite wand. This is also from White Mountain Crystals. What I really like about this is it's got the little felt inner lining to help keep my selenite all nice and safe. And it's so pretty. It's a really nice piece. It's like just very mesmerizing to watch. Especially on camera because the lighting is really good right here. You can really see. And it goes from like clear to white. It's just really cool. So go ahead and put that back in its little baggie. I have a sparkly hut in the comments. I have, this is actually a vintage piece from my mom. It's just a little green glass bell. And actually what bells are for is basically similar to smudging, but the sound of the bell will clear your space. So you just ring that and the sound of it will kind of clear out everything, which is actually why on the back of my door I have my little chime. It's the triple goddess with the pentacle, and it's just got the little chimes. So essentially, the sound of it, when I come in my room and kind of pass under it, it will jingle. Hold on. Alright. Yeah. So, I have my little triple goddess. What else do we have in here? A lot of groups and things that need to get cleared off. I have one of my incense burners, which is very much in need of a bath at this point. There's a lot of ash kind of around the bottom. But it is the triple goddesses chalice. It's like a little backflow burner kind of thing where the smoke comes out through the goblet and kind of comes out at their feet in it. Which is very pretty. But you can see there's quite a bit of on the bottom. So we'll have to get clean. So we're gonna put that to the side. I have my broom, or my Besom, as it's also called, B-E-S-O-M. I believe the difference is that this is technically a Besom because it's small and it doesn't have the handle. But if it were bigger and it had the handle, then it would be a broom. Same purpose though, technically different name. So these are basically meant for like a space clearing. It can also be just a physical cleaning tool, which is, I kind of use it as a bit of both. I have a habit of leaving little herb crumbs on my altar, so this is very helpful to kind of physically sweep up all the herb crumbs. And then I would basically take whatever is left over and sweep it into my cauldron to be burned for later. I try to keep all my like herb crumbs to go in here. This is basically all of the excess of all of my spells that I've done pretty recently. And so basically I do have this. I don't really do anything, at least nothing that I save is from anything that would be bad to keep. So like I don't do any crazy banishings, and if I did, it would not go in here because that's not what you do when you banish something. But like abundance spells and stuff like that, it's perfectly fine to just have your crumbs. So I do. I think closer to the new year I will probably try to burn up whatever is left in here and start the new year with a clean cauldron. And a little rose. This is also a Yule blend, and I might actually sprinkle this out once I get this cleaned, but it is like fir and pine cones and anise, which is very cool, so I'll put that to the side. That. I have another little offering dish. Let's see, there's something in the bottom here. There's a random chain. Very strange. Don't know where that came from. I'll put there. I have a deck of cards. I don't really smoke as much as I used to. Not very helpful, but occasionally, if the mood strikes me, I suppose. I do live in a state where that is legal, so there we go. I think mostly, currently I use mostly like medicinal herb blends, which not saying that that is not medicinal, because it totally is, but I don't tend to do anything psychoactive, if that makes sense. Health blends, yes, not so much that, if that answers your question. Let's see. I have some cards here. I did get this deck the other day, and it's really fun. It's one of my favorites right now, probably. But I just love the art style. It's just very beautiful. There we go. Get these all tucked away. I have my little lunar goddess statue. More LED candles. This is actually the first wand I ever made, which is very fun. It's oak, and I got it from a fallen branch out in my front yard, and it is really cool. I love the dark brown, like stripes in it. It is just very cool. Let's see, more LED candles. I try to do LEDs on here just because it is in a bookshelf and I don't want to burn down my bookshelf. So I try not to do, obviously, real candles in here. Have some incense. This is lavender sage. I believe it's from Witch City Wicks in Salem. But this is one of my favorite incense blends. It's wonderful. I love it. They also have a dragon's blood, which is really good. Let's see. This is another old piece, and I have no idea where it came from. Well, let me see. It says Raven's Light 2003. So I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but there's a sticker. www.ravenslight.net. So someone bought this from there at some point, and it's really beautiful. But I actually ended up getting this from Savers for like $1 because, wow. Yeah, it was $1.99 and I worked there at the time, so I got my employee discount on this. So this was like $1. Wow. I have my green goddess here. I'm actually going to be switching her over today and putting out my other fairy goddess. So this is the one that's going away, and instead we're going to put her out, which this is really cool. I really love this piece. Basically what I do is that during the colder months I have this one out, and during the warmer months I have this one out. I am very much behind. I'm not on top of my game right now, apparently. But yes, so she is the one that will be going on my actual altar, and then that one will be put away. So I do actually have quite a bit of herb crumbs. Let me get my broom. The cards, so I have the Lady and the Lord. I have the Earth Mother, and I have the Crone. And these were sitting out on my altar. I may put these away, or I may leave the Crone out because it is very seasonally appropriate. So just trying to get all of my jewelry kind of put away. In case anybody is curious, I believe this is the Greenwich Tarot, I believe. In case anybody is interested in that. This is kind of my box of like overflow things that I want to keep on my altar, but it doesn't really fit. So this is the front of it. And inside, I have some bottles and things. I actually have some empties, which is interesting. So I have some empties in there. I have various tumbled stones. I have my, oops, I have pink salt. And I have copper. I have a rose quartz egg and a bit of cinnamon. So, a bit of random stuff in there. I have my Demeter angel, which will definitely be going back because I do love her very much. And then I just have kind of a bunch of random crystals and knickknacks and things. I have my pentacle. I have a patch from Poison Apple Print Shop. It is the Rosemary Offering patch. I usually keep that on my altar. And then just a bunch of random crystals and things. Like a turtle. Sometimes I save the little tabs to the ends of my tea that I have, if they have little sayings. This one says, compassion has no limit, kindness has no enemy. And this one says, may this day bring you peace, tranquility, and harmony. So I felt like saving these at the time. Don't think I really need them anymore though. Get rid of those. I have my rune set. I believe I have two of the runes should be sitting out on my altar. Here we go. So put those back in the set. And these are basically just another tool for divination. You basically throw these down and take note of what you have. So these are very cool. Mine are amethyst with kind of a gold lettering, but there are a bunch of different forms you can find runes in. So those are my runes. So I have a bunch of crystals and it would probably take us far too long to get through. We were to stop and talk about them all, so I can probably make a separate crystal video, separate like crystal collection video, if you guys are interested in seeing crystals I have maybe we can do a separate herb one as well. Go through my herb cabinet of all my herbs and things and what those are used for. I have my wand, which is silver with quartz on each end, and the wood is rosewood, I believe. I did used to have two little garnet cabochons on either end, but sadly those did fall off, so I need to find a way to replace those at some point. But yes, that is my favorite wand. I believe that is from a store called the White Witch Parlor online, but I don't quite remember. It's from there. I believe I got that along with my fairy oil from the White Witch Parlor. And candles and things. I have a pentacle that I got from King Richard's Fair. It's got a little aqua ora quartz. And I have my little bronze Tara, which is pretty cute. I'm not really gonna go through what's in my offering dishes right now, but to be honest with you guys, it is a mix of crystals, herbs, money, and candy, and maybe a little bit of jewelry. It's basically just these. These are the bowls. So, not too much to go into on that, but I do have a lot of crystals in there, for sure. You have a lot of candy kind of strewn out on this candy. I'm gonna put that in here with my crystals for now, just to kind of get it out of the way. And the candy is for offerings, in case anyone is curious why I have a whole bunch of candy. Trying to find a thing to put all of them. But yeah, once we are done kind of clearing through all of this, we can go ahead and set up how we're going to have our Yule altar. Which is very fun. This is a little lunar goddess, which once upon a time, when I got this, it did actually look like me, surprisingly enough. My hair was definitely a lot more red then. It was not so grown out as it is now, but it was actually red all the way. So I have my red hair, and the little aura quartz around here was when I had my aura quartz pentacle, which I showed you. So this was meant to kind of emulate that, and I was a bit tanner then as well. But yes, so this at one point did look like me, which is kind of fun to have a little statue. But yes, so it's just me holding the triple moon. Fun. Little sun. We'll put that to the side. We're definitely going to use that. That should be most of the herb crumbs kind of picked up and taken care of. I want to try to clean those off so I don't kind of leave it all messy. Alright, and then I have my favorite altar cloth, which is upside down. This is my Hecate altar cloth. It's printed in like a silver leaf. This is from Poison Apple Print Shop, I believe, as well. And I do leave it kind of slightly hanging off. You can see the edge of it kind of peeking off. Alright, so kind of my next thing that I'm going to do is kind of lift up the fur a bit. So I can go ahead and put my Yule altar cloth. This one. It's just a bunch of fabric, which you can kind of tell, but it's really cool. So I basically just go ahead and flip that over my current altar cloth so that you can see the Christmassiness. I am going to leave my crystal shelf kind of sitting in the corner there just because it's going to be a pain to have to move that with all the crystals on it. So I'm just going to tuck that in. Put my Hecate altar cloth back, but you can see it in the back, the kind of Yule pattern, which is very fun, very festive. So, let's see. Go ahead and start. So, I'm going to put my offering dishes back for sure. And I have my candle holder and my broom. Let me go ahead and put in my goddess and put there. My altar box. I'm going to actually use that to kind of sit my Caradhorn plaque up for right now, so that you can really see it. That like that. See them? And I basically did it chrome side pointing out. You can see the chrome. That's basically the phase that we're in right now is chrome. So I do want to try to highlight that while I'm setting up. My little reindeer guy, which I'm going to go ahead and put out. If I can fit it, I do also have this one. These are both obviously meant to represent kind of like the horn god, which I don't work with so much anymore. I do work with him at Christmas time though, or Yuletide, depending on what we celebrate. So I do have him. Back there. Trying to decide where he can fit. There. And make from the cauldron. That kind of front and center. And then I have a few Yule specific things to add. I have my Witch of the Woods ritual candle. This is kind of like a quiet contemplation for winter time. Got a lot of good things in here. This one is from Light of Anjou. I do really like her stuff, so that is going to be going kind of in front there. And I have my Yule log candle. I'm going to put it right there. I'm just going to take some candy back and sprinkle that. So it's a little bit of a pain to clean up, but I use it anyway. It's just kind of fun, little candies and stuff. Alright, so then put out my Yule candle. So this year I obviously go for white, green, and red. So I have 2 white, 1 green, and 1 red. And color scheme. I have like some pine cones I can put out. Kind of like a seasonal decoration. Some of these are cinnamon scented pine cones, which is fun, just a little added scent. And I do have like my little holly risers if I can find space for these. Put it in here. And move stuff around until I can fit it. When I put my offering dishes on that, and I'm also going to go ahead and put my little candle on one of those as well. Put my pomsicle right there. It's just about that. Let me see if I can zoom you in. Okay, I'm going to put my chrome card there. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this over there. Let me see if I can zoom you guys in. Go ahead and put my thermite wand back. There we go. Getting everything all grabbing everything that I need. Maroon. And I think that should be just about everything. I'm going to do my antler tip. I'm going to go ahead and place that. I'm really getting this off right now. There we go. Don't know if you guys can see that very well. It's definitely a lot. I have kind of my I think it came out pretty good. Let's see. I don't know if you can see, I have my chrome card kind of tucked in to the candles. But yeah, I think it came out very good. As always, it's always pretty cluttered. That's just kind of how my main altar always is, unfortunately. So I do think it came out really good though. And I did need to definitely put together my Yule altar, so I feel really good about it. I have my holly, my little reindeer, I have my little pine cones and things, and I love that altar cloth. It's always so fun. It does not feel like Yule until I have that altar cloth up. But yes, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this, kind of me going through all of my different things that I normally keep on my altar, and the kind of putting it back together kind of thing. I do definitely have a lot of stuff that I usually keep on here. It is very cluttered. I think it's just a lot of iconography to fit onto one shelf of a bookcase. But that being said, I do really like how it came out. It is really cool. There is definitely a lot of goddess representation on here. So it's always fun. So I have all of that here ready to go. And I think I'm going to have to do a part 2 of this as far as what my collection looks like, because we still have all of this to do. And I just don't think that's getting done tonight. So I hope you guys had fun looking at my altar things with me. And if you have questions, to leave those down below. I'll go ahead and answer those as quick as I can. And for sure, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments once this is all posted and everything, if you're watching this after the live stream. As always, if you want to keep up with me, I always have my Instagram at Witch of the Northeast, same as here, but it does have the underscores where the spaces are. Typically I do have that linked in my descriptions as well. So, if you'd like to keep up with me on social media when I'm not posting on here, you can feel free to follow me on there. I do usually update when I am going to do any live streams or anything like that as well, so it's a good place to kind of get informed on when I'm going to be on here and when I'm posting regular videos. I am going to do a Yule specific video next week on the 11th, so if you have any questions you want to know about Yule before then, you can send those in. I'll try to answer them. If you think we should do a regular pre-scheduled video, let me know. If you think we should do a live stream, let me know. I might run a poll too on my Instagram to see which one you guys think I should do. So, have a good, I never know how to end these on a live stream. Anyway, have a good day, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, whatever, and I will see you next time.